Hello everyone! Welcome back to some more Tyranny. We're going to see if we can cast an edict over Tunon's court, but also I noticed these have the 5 sigils lit up, and there's still 5 more that are not lit up. My guess right now is that Kairos has control of the other 5 towers right now. That's my guess. Also, my guess is that Kairos is just basically fashioning a rival for them to fight since they've conquered everything, and there's nothing left to conquer. So I think it kind of makes sense that they're basically creating their own enemy at this point, which I'm assuming is going to be us. And that's about it. That's all I really want to say. I'm assuming if there is a sequel, it's going to be revolving around some great war, but I don't know how they're going to do it in like a role-playing setup, but it's up to them to figure out. Oh, I can't select the Bastard City. Ah. Nuts. Oh, well. Well, let's go to Tunon's court. See how this goes. Face Tunon's judgment. Oh, Blend and Mark isn't there.
Fatebinder, thank you for answering my summons. This could very well be the defining hour of the conquest.
I'll show respect, I'll bow.
I first want to make it clear why we've assembled today. After the collapse of Vendrian's Well and the start of the Civil War, it became clear to me that there must have been some great fault on the part of the Archons. We come together to root out the source of our troubles and determine which of the Archons has sowed more chaos during the war.
I can point to the culprit and spares this discussion. Oh, this is weird, considering I've already killed the voices of Nerat. Blood Mulch aims the tip of the crude dagger at your heart. This is the scum who brought down the voice. Oh, okay, yeah, no, I did. That's what I did. I hope it isn't your intention to arm yourself before a court of peaceful legal representatives, Commander, unless to offer amusement as Blended Mark flays you for our delight, says Callio. He squints at Callio and slowly returns his weapon to its sheath. Tunon turns to aim what you can only assume is a stern look. He refocuses back onto you with cool stoicism.
Much has happened since I dispatched you on that mission. You killed the voices of Nerat, taking the responsibility of an Archon's execution. Explain yourself.
The voices was a madman. He didn't deserve a out of these options, though, I did have a choice. He was a genius and an artist. That you didn't understand him only sharpens his brilliance. Bloodmarch bows to Tunon and silences himself.
That was not your decision to make. And yet here we are.
Here we are.
The court has a serious problem to address. Your conduct throughout this campaign has come into question, and you will answer for your actions.
Oh, they didn't voice this part? You have made quite a name for yourself, Fatebinder. Stories of your deeds have spread through the tiers, and all of them have reached this court. Some actions have consequences. We will see what your actions have wrought.
The court has its own charges to present, and invites you to answer for yourself.
Am I on trial?
Yes. and I would ready yourself to form a defense, because your testimony could augur your doom. These proceedings are merely a formality. You have shown yourself to be a paragon of order. However, the law dictates a trial must be held. The trial begins now. I recommend that you treat these moments with deserving gravity, as they might be your last. Don't attempt to lie or evade answers. I will judge you in the objective eyes of our overlord. Is that understood?
Alright, so the proclamation to kill all their archons does not extend to Tunon, then, I'm guessing. So technically, I guess he is still above us in Kairos' hierarchy. Alright.
At least your civility remains intact. You are on trial for transgressing on the Overlord's authority, breaking the laws of the Empire, bringing mayhem to an otherwise orderly conquest, and meddling in concerns that fell beyond your station. Our directive to bring Kairos' peace to the Tiers has suffered, and you will answer for the part you played.
If you don't mind, Educator, we are on familiar terms with the Fatebinder here. Should any inconsistencies require our input, we will add our voices as testimony. Okay, Callio.
The court has inquiries into your conduct. I first call your travel companions to speak on your behalf as witnesses to your character or accomplices to your crimes. Who will speak on behalf of the Fatebinder?
I mean, technically I'm an Archon, but, you know, we can get to that later.
The Ironclad Commander will step forward, if indeed he has the strength to walk.
You want me to speak, Adjudicator?
Barrick's armor makes a distinct rattling sound that echoes in the court as he steps forward. Also, I realized I've been mispronouncing this word. Adjudicator. Whoops.
I've been treated with fairness and respect. As fine as anything the Legion ever gave me. The Fatebinder trusts my counsel. I've never seen a finer, more upstanding member of the court.
Thank you, Barrick.
Will anyone else speak on the Fatebinder's behalf? Scarlet Fury, you who sacrificed your old life for this one, step forward.
Me? As if the likes of me has any business speaking in a grand hall before the Archon. Why, I've murdered enough folk to stack their bodies up to the podium 10 times over. Your Honor, the Fatebinder and I get along like a couple of cats. We scratch here and there, but there's respect to be had. Sometimes I think we agree on too much, but can't fight everyone. I suppose I've had worse bosses, and I suppose I've had better friends. But this one's something special. I've killed for him, and I'll do it again.
Will anyone else speak on the Fatebinder's behalf? Let the aged chronicler step forward.
If it may please the court, I will speak true. I have had the honor and privilege of shadowing the Archon. A dream come true for someone so eager to witness history in the unfolding. I can say, with conviction, I am following greatness.
Okay. And if required, I could produce my travel log to back my claims. I have noted the good with the bad, and I think you'll find the Archon has been a force of order and balance. Exactly what you should want from a Fatebinder.
Will anyone else speak on the Fatebinder's behalf?
Evidently not. The time has come for the Fatebinder to offer his testimony. You entered the Old Walls, a clear violation of Kairos' law. How do you answer for this perversion of justice? Do you think yourself above the law? Circumstances took me there, Your Honor, not greed. Are circumstances the best defense you can muster? Because no one in this court has allowed circumstances to lead us to unlawful conduct. Tunon weighs the matter while studying you in silence.
I have one final question, Fatebinder. You were brought to this campaign to adjudicate the disagreements between the two armies. After your arrival, matters quickly escalated into a civil war. Did you knowingly join the conquest of the Tears to sow discord in your wake, or were you merely a victim of circumstance?
I'm gonna go with 2. I recognized the Archon's corruption from the start. It was only a matter of time before they turned on each other, and I was prepared for that eventuality.
If you anticipated a failure on this scale, you should have informed me, or else worked to avoid it rather than pit combatants against each other. I am finished with my line of questioning. Have you any closing remarks for the court? The way you frame it, the conquest sounds like a matter of true personal investment. Most curious. After weighing the charges, this court finds you innocent. Against all reason or expectation, I find you innocent. Your testimony was sufficient to justify your deeds, your self-appointed authority, and your undermining of Kairos' law. I can hardly believe it myself.
Damn. Okay. Tunon raises a trembling hand to his mask. Adjudicator, are you unwell? Rogalis takes a cautious step. Leave him. I want to see how this plays out. Calio leans forward with interest.
As stated before, this was merely a formality. Your actions in the Tears have shown you seek to bring order to the chaos left by Kairos' forces.
Honestly, I thought no matter what I said, he was going to say guilty and then try to kill me.
Archon, your presentation in the court today has shaken many of my core beliefs. Things I held sacred under Kairos' law are now uncertain.
He looks at his gavel with a sense of bewilderment.
I once thought that Kairos was the sole overlord. The notion of rising to her echelon of power and influence wasn't a concept that existed for me, for anyone.
Oh. Oh, the adjudicator is now like, wait a minute, if this person can do all this.
You have proven her wrong. What's more, you understand justice and law better than she ever did. Better than even...
Holy shit, wow, okay. Was not expecting this. Upon his mask, the corner of his eyes crinkle as if in agony.
I am willing to accept you as my new sovereign.
What?
If you'll have me.
Holy shit. Truly did not expect this. Huh. Man, Tunon was like 100% in Kairos' pocket. Wow. I accept. Together we will rewrite law and lay the groundwork for a new empire.
My gavel and my justice are yours. I will execute your laws as you draft them, Show mercy as you see fit, and bring to ruin all who would reject you.
Damn. And this only furthers my belief that the sequel, well, that Kairos was setting us up as to be a rival. Maybe from the start, or maybe just when we started taking over the spires, they were like, oh shit. Maybe we will have a new challenge, you know? Because being a conqueror that has nothing to conquer must be pretty boring, especially for someone who's over 400 years old. And this just furthers that belief, because now Tunan's going to be working under... Oh, man. I really want the sequel, because I know this is the end of the game. I just know it. It has to be. Ah. But that's awesome, man. Tunan is just like, nah, you're... Uh-oh. Does that mean I get Blended Mark as well? Silently, Blended Mark seeps from the shadows. He glides forward, palming 2 black-bladed daggers as his eyes dart between you and Tunan.
Adjudicator, kid.
He greets the both of you with a curt nod before stating his claim.
Allow this blade to cut to the point. I have an objection, or two.
He twirls both daggers, fingers moving deftly in and out of shadow, the movement nearly hypnotic and wholly blurred, and all the while his brightly burning eyes bore into yours. Buddy. Oh, pal of mine. What's the problem? Really? You have to do this now? You've gained favor. He smiles pleasantly, teeth gleaming in the darkness.
Look, it's not like I have a grudge against you. I just can't let you live on Kairos' orders. I'm sure you understand.
Well, we've been dropping lore all game. I can tell you've been waiting for this. And she told you this personally, did she?
Kairos has given me free reign of action to protect the Overlord's interests. The semantics are of little concern to her, though I admit they will greatly affect you.
It would appear the court headsman is determined to make his stand. Under normal circumstances, I would curb this behavior with a swift execution. However, we have long since abandoned normalcy.
That's very true, Tunan.
There will be a trial by combat then. Bledenmark's claim against your own. Justice will win out, and the will of the true Overlord will be evident for the living to witness. You may begin when ready, Archon.
Guess I have no choice then. Without further word or warning, the Archon of Shadow dissipates into darkness. The lights in the room flicker and dim as he surges forward in attack.
Your trial begins anew, Archon. Prepare to defend your title, your innocence, and your very life.
Well, Blendon, guess this just had to come out this way. So be it. Let me show you my headsman, aka Verse, aka Murders Anything. I have a lot of names for her.
More tallies to the body count.
Do none of you see him? Oh, I guess we can't. Cannot target. Okay. Well, in that case, buff time.
Right.
There we go. And now we're hobbled. Okay, so we need to get rid of that.
Kid. I got it.
Disengage. And in power. Lantry. Yep. Steadfast stand. Might as well pull out all the stops right now. Immune to confusion? Is that what this is?
I will aid you.
10%? Okay, that's not really worth the time.
Shit.
Move up. Dude, Mercy just cannot be stopped.
You got it.
I'll omit that from the record.
My command.
Let him feel your rage first.
It's a hit!
The trick is to keep twisting till you hear the snap.
Oh, are you done already, Blendon? Golden, glowering eyes, wide with surprise, the Archon tumbles to the ground, coughing blood as dark as the shadows that billow and ebb around him. He clutches at his shattered ribs and grins.
Look at you. The surprise of a lifetime.
He gasps, drowning as his lungs fill with blood. The light in his eyes dims as his pupils seep blackness, expanding to fill the whole of his eyes. A look of meaning passes between you, his fingers digging into the ground.
Don't die too easily. Won't look good for me. This brightness is blinding.
Master, if you'll join me upstairs, I will pledge fealty to you in the lawful manner.
Guess he didn't like that I killed Blendon. Hey, you know what? You didn't give me a choice. Your power has increased. You defeated Blendon Mark. Oh, that's cool. Don't know what it does for us at this point. Grazes and misses with range attacks bounce to enemies behind their target. Oh, that's pretty cool too. Huh. Just do throw mastery though at this point. I think we're at the end of the game. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Binding of Shadows. Minus 10% to all damage taken. Shift into the shadow version of yourself. While in this form, deal bonus arcane damage with each attack and gain bonus damage reduction. These effects scale with Binding of Shadows renown. This bracer, once worn by Blendon Mark, is made of an unfamiliar substance. Part velvet, soft darkness, and part hardened insect chitin. It is said that the darkness is more oppressive when an Archon of Shadows walks the face of Taratus. The magic stemming from his power draws over the substance of shadows with an air of welcome and invitation, treating the dark less as something more than an arcane force. As such, a bracer that allows the wearer to embody their darker self has overtones of danger and risk. Just looking at it too closely causes your vision to swim and sends a wave of nausea rolling through your gut. Oh, let's take that. What are we wearing right now? Sigil of Life? Yeah, maybe we should just do this.
This'll be fun.
Yeah, it will. We're never going to use that ability.
Archon, change has come to the Tiers, and in time it will reach the Empire itself. You are the agent of that change, and even I could not have predicted what impossible heights you would reach. The time has come to take up the gavel and usher in a new age of structure and law to the Tiers. You will henceforth define justice for the rest of us. I will follow your lead and endeavor to follow your design.
Your loyalty and confidence are appreciated.
As the ruling Archon of the Tears, I submit to your authority and thank you for bringing order out of chaos.
Feel much better as Oh, damn, he even descended.
Go and
to
represent the strength of law. Be the example the Tears require, the force that keeps them together, and the hope for their future under one rule. Let your justice know no mercy but that which you impose. Civilization itself will bend according to your design. Never forget this.
I just
I
casually
am
look at my
grateful
hand.
to stand in your loyal service, Archon, but there is a shadow over these proceedings.
Tunon hesitates as he regards you, suddenly fearful.
Though you have proven yourself greater than the other Archons, Kairos is not satisfied. She sends a legion of expert soldiers marching on the Tears as we speak, their war songs calling for your death.
And what would you recommend?
Power begets power. A demonstration aimed at Kairos herself would give her a reason to regroup and consider her options. It would have to be a display of incredible proportions.
An edict proclaimed on the Northern Empire should do the trick. Oh, we have to target the homeland of the disfavored? Have they not been through enough?
Yes, destruction on that scale might serve your purpose. The North will tremble under your forceful hand. Return to the mountain spire and see your will given shape and consequence. Show Kairos the face of true power.
Man. Yeah, I'm much happier, at least with this character, that we have Tunon serving us now, instead of just killing him. You have anything to say? Compelled the adjudicator himself to kneel, did you? Regalis grins. Impressive work. The last person who did that... Well, enough said. If you must hold on to Ash, keep him in line. Just remember that you are the third master to whom he's sworn his life and fealty. Very true. Better for all our sakes that the voices of Nerat left this world. I always thought that Kairos used him to thin the herd, that anyone in the hierarchy was fair game. Speculation, of course. You look as if you have questions for me to untangle. Ask. I am feeling generous. How do you think the court will fare? Better than ever, I hope. Without the dependable aid of an unkillable assassin, I'm sure we'll stumble along the way. The court itself will have to be stronger if it expects to survive, and that sort of change is always welcome. I wanted to read what that was. Okay. Try and keep Ash on a short leash. I think the old man likes knowing his constraints, and no one sets limitations more efficiently than Kairos. But I think you'll manage. I have my doubts that the Voices of Nerat is dead. That just seems like something he would have planned for a long time ago. You sure you got the right Archon? How do you think the court will fare? The court ought to learn the lesson that the Empire already knows. Everyone is replaceable. As long as we keep that in mind, I'm not so worried about the court. Okay. Good on you for sparing Ash. A little mercy goes a long way in these troubled times. Wield him like the weapon that he is, but wield him with care. He is older and more brittle than he looks. I know that I will sleep easier with the Voices of Nerat dispatched. Whenever he visited the court, I got the impression that his adherence to law was some perverse joke that only he understood. Okay, how do you feel? For all of its wisdom, the court places too much emphasis on fear and paranoia to keep legal precedent in check. It will be interesting to see how we navigate this new world you've carved out for us. The court does not lack for teeth and claws when needed, but for now, our shadowy blade is gone. Man, this is how it ends. We're gonna do the edict, and that's gonna be it. I really hope this continues. If the game just ends here, there's never any sequel. If it doesn't do well to get one, I'm gonna be so upset. Because this is like chapter 1. This is the first act, or the first like movie of a trilogy. You know, this is A New Hope. So I really want to see, you know, Cairo Strikes Back and Return of the Tokshen. Oh no, Return of the Fatebinders. You know, like I want to see those two movies too. Issue an edict upon the Northern Kingdom. Or maybe there's like maybe this isn't it. I have a feeling. It seems like it is. This is the Northern Empire. And this is still just part of the tiers. Like there's a whole continent out here, right? From what I remember of the opening movie. I wonder if we're gonna travel up there. No. Would we? Let's see. +2 armor, -10 action speed, move speed, -15 magic. Control lightning and the fire thing. I like the Edict of Storms, but we did that already, so I guess we can do the Edict of Stone. Alright. Oh man. This isn't even voiced? Come on! Alright. Your Edict of Stone shakes the ground under the northern capital. A quake that builds in such ferocity that massive sinkholes open under the bustling city, swallowing whole districts. As citizens flee in terror, mages attempt to help but find their arcane powers dampened to the point of uselessness. Even as they cleave to falling structures or run from widening fissures, all wonder why Kairos offers no deliverance. As chaos ensued in the Northern Kingdom, the armies marching on the tiers received an unprecedented order. The armies were to fall back to the capital and ensure the safety of its people from the edict. For the first time in Kairos' great conquest, the armies retreated. Soon, questions would be asked in a hushed breath across the lands about what new and terrible power had emerged that could force the hand of the Overlord. You fulfilled Kairos' decree, and all the tiers is now ruled by a single Archon. Your former rivals have either submitted to you or perished, bringing the civil war to a close. The Scarlet Chorus may have been mighty in numbers, but that didn't stop you from thoroughly scattering them, cutting off the Serpent's head and sending each of the gangs howling back to the chaos they sowed. How the remnants of the Horde occupy themselves without a war to fight becomes a topic for nightmares. It was thought that this favor would never rally under another general, but by enlisting Graven Ash to your cause, you managed the next best thing, controlling the Archon to harness the strength of the Northern Empire. You reorganized their old-fashioned regiments with a new chain of command, placing yourself at its highest authority. The Legion's victory spread beyond count, and your soldiers train hard, preparing for the retaliation to come. Under your guidance, those who resisted the conquest and sowed discontent are vanquished, their rebellion brought to a decisive end. Any lingering question of who is true ruler the tiers is answered by your impact on the reconstructed nation. Word of your success spreads beyond the tiers as well. Even the most distant corners of the Empire whisper of the Fatebinder who rose to become an Archon, and an Archon whose intervention shattered the conquest, making way for a new future in the devastated nation. Uniting the tiers under the banner of the disfavored was never your directive, and yet you performed it admirably. Consolidating the Overlord's forces under your rule and grooming the tiers for their place in a new order. The same people who once hurled curses across the siege soon learned to think of themselves as part of a greater whole, extending beyond their modest borders. With the Edict of Stone dispelled, the earth around the Stone Sea finally settles, leading everyone to believe the realm of Azure will return to its former glory. But the ritual used to end the edict blighted the land to such a degree that nothing will grow, no matter how hard anyone tries. With determination, some are able to start small seedlings, but nothing ever comes of it. I guess I could have manipulated things to the point where we didn't have to cast that. Damn. I didn't really want to. The memory of Cairn as a great force of destruction remains as a monument of inert rock. Most agree that the world is better off without the Archon of Stone, as the people of Azure begins to slowly reclaim the land that was once torn asunder by his power. As the strongest and oldest of their kind, the death of the Stonestalkers is a blow to Beastman culture. Their demise also brings centuries of oral traditions to an abrupt end. The local tribes never recover from the terrible loss. Whoops. My bad. With Cairn's essence preserved and the lands of Azure permanently blighted, the Earthshakers return to the disfavored. While their reputation isn't what it used to be, their success in dealing such a decisive blow to the Scarlet's Chorus by removing their main source of food has earned back the respect of the Legion. The Earthshakers are accepted back into the ranks of the disfavored, once again becoming part of the army that helped subdue the Tiers. With the Unbroken all but destroyed, the former citizens of Stalwart threatened to slide into lawlessness. Kairos' forces stationed at Sentinel Stand managed to quell the worst of the uprising, but peace under the nation's new leadership is resisted at every turn. You put the last of Graven Ash's family to the sword, ensuring the end of his long and decorated lineage. Though you often wonder if more could have been done to prevent the horrible deed, you don't bother yourself wondering for long. Again, my bad. Though it takes time to recover from the devastation of the Edict of Storms, the Bladegrave begins its slow march towards healing. The realm of Stalwart may never resemble its former glory, but the land is not so blasted that something new and better can't be built atop the bones of the past. The Regent bloodline has ended. With it, new traditions and legacies spring to life. Your travels never took you to the Burning Library, and this leaves the Edict of Fire undisturbed, consigning the Vellum Citadel to a future engulfed by perpetual flame. With their arcane knowledge beyond reach, the School of Ink and Quill falls into steep decline, your name becoming a curse in their embittered ranks. Listen, Graven Ash was like, yo, do you want to go here or here? And I was like, well, I mean, there's a tower over there, let's just go there first. I didn't realize at the time of that decision that I could never go to the Vellum Citadel. I didn't know. By leaving the Thymes Crossing under disfavored command, you ensure the city's cooperation and productivity during the remainder of the conquest. The crafting of superior weapons comes to be the touchstone by which the Thymes Crossing is remembered. After the war, people speak of it as the Forge Days, when the city was a lump of unformed metal waiting to be shaped. By returning the Magebane Helm to the Thymes Crossing, you ensured the Bane would not be able to get into the city. For the time being, the threat of a Bane incursion is dispelled. The settlers are grateful to go about their lives unburdened by this peril, though knowing how close they came to annihilation haunts them. They hope that the security you provided endures. With the disfavored left in control of the Thymes Crossing, the production of iron remains where it belongs, safe in northern hands. The Chorus and the Tiersmen alike fight with inferior bronze, and over time the disadvantage grows to a crippling vulnerability. By enacting an edict on Vendrian's Well, you announced your power to the world and showed Kairos' forces what you were capable of. When you defeated their leader and scattered the army before you, it sent the message to Kairos. A new Archon is born. While the edict dissipated, its effects will always be felt as the first true threat to Kairos' rule. Graven Ash continues to lead the disfavored, this time bowing to your superior command. At first, the old general balks at your instructions, but in time, he grows to trust your judgment without question. Working together, you bring much-needed order to the lawless tiers. Killing the voices of Nerat spreads the joy of bloody vengeance across the continent. Celebrated as the death of history's greatest parasite, the occasion is marked by all who suffered under the oppression of the Scarlet Chorus. Even in victory, one thought nags you. Though you witnessed his death, you can't help but wonder if the voices of Nerat is done with you. Tunon, the adjudicator, continues to dispense justice from a seat in the Bastard City. He follows the laws you craft to the letter, advising on any of the meticulous changes you lack the time or the patience to draft. Without his aid, the task of keeping order in the tiers would be nigh impossible. The death of Blynden Mark deprived the world of a most capable murderer. One less bedtime story to scare children is no significant loss, though you can't help but glance at the dark corners of every room and feel as if something is watching you. Blynden Mark will always cast a long shadow on your life. I guess through our actions we could have gotten a favor with Blynden to have him not kill us. That's a shame. That didn't happen. Not content to enjoy the fruits of victory, Barrack positions himself among the rank and file of your supporters, organizing troops around their strengths and making sure each pulls their weight. His armor clings to him as doggedly as ever, though he wears it with a straighter back and a lighter step than he did before. A team of loyal camp followers polish his plates to a respectable sheen each morning, and the smell that escapes his visor has notably improved. Medals of valor decorate his breastplate, and adoring supporters drape garlands of flowers about his pauldrons. Life is good for the towering soldier. Aww. Way to go, Barrack. Oh, Verse. Verse finds herself adrift in the relative peace that follows your conquest. She returns to the field and seeks out young women from rural communities, imparting her fighting skills to only the most passionate. Over the course of many apprentices, she follows the voices of Nerat's example and forms a personal army, the Callous Sisterhood. Verse proves to be a strict teacher, and you hire her services often, confident that she'll take any assignment where there's blood to be spilled. Okay. The Callous Sisterhood. Lantry keeps a close watch over you, scribbling his account of your deeds and accomplishments. In his tireless quest to fill the chronicle with history and knowledge, he follows you even into his twilight years, and together you learn much about the world. You pretend not to notice Lantry's waning strength, though you find yourself pausing mid-sentence to let his writing catch up. He recognizes your generous ruse, and appreciates it in silence. Aw, Lantry. Ebb remains in your company, where she seeks out promising recruits among your supporters. After recognizing some obvious talent, she takes on a team of apprentices in a new school of would-be tidecasters. Though she often jokes that the school is bound to fail with her at the helm, her students think otherwise, as do the many dozens of hopefuls who come begging for her tutelage. With no desire to remain in the company of humans, Kills and Shadow returns to the wilderness and seeks out her own kind. She discovers a haggard community of beastmen who abandon the realm of Azure, only to be enslaved by Kairos' forces. Out of this rabble of defectors, she forges a tribe. Their nomadic ways respecting no established border or law. They raid villages and caravans when possible, glutting on the spoils and boasting of their severed ties with the human world. Though a large bounty follows in the tribe's wake, you do what you can to ensure they are never found. Yeah, Siren! What happened to this person? Siren, the Archon of Song, never lent her voice to your cause. After spending time in Lithian's Crossing gathering followers, she disappeared from the tiers before your personal conquest was done. Stories reach your ears occasionally telling of a young woman with a hypnotic voice, and you wonder what marvels you could have accomplished with her in your charge. Damn. A whole missed companion. Oh. Oh man, I wonder if we probably could have got her without, like, even if we went against the voices. I had to, I guess, maybe have handled the conversation with her, the one conversation we had with her differently to maybe get her on our side. Damn. Though you once professed loyalty to Kairos, popular belief holds that the world cannot support two overlords, and you now represent a threat to the established order. This leaves your future in question, with but one certainty. When Kairos retaliates, you will be ready. From your perch atop the ancient spire, you can see hints of the Northern Empire just beyond the mountains. At your command, horns shout a triumphant cry across the valley, heralding the end of one long campaign and the beginning of another. Which would be the sequel, I guess. Damn! I want that sequel right now! Ah, that was a cool game! That's a good RPG! I'm sad it's over. I doubt there's gonna be anything at the end of this. There wasn't at the end of Pillars. Maybe I should have went a little slower. I mean, all these people do reserve their respect and time on the screen, but sorry, I'm just so curious if there's anything at the end of this. Thank you everybody who worked on this video game. It's awesome. Nope, yeah, that's it. Okay. Well, everybody, thank you for watching the Tyranny play or series. It's such a cool game. I don't know if I want to say if it's better. Like, I'm not even going to compare it to Pillars of Eternity. They're both good, great, even RPGs. I enjoy both of them a lot. My only downside of this one was the lack of voiced dialogue for your main characters and all their stuff. Because the voiced dialogue I thought was so much better. Oh, so good, and I wanted just more of it. But, you know, there are constraints, development time, and, you know, money to pay actors. I know, but I wanted the main companions to be voiced. Maybe in the next game they'll be able to do that, because it is honestly so much better to hear them talk to you instead of me talking. And because, like, I don't know the emotion that they're supposed to be portraying. Like, I can't mimic all these voice actors, but so that's like my one complaint. Honestly, besides that, I enjoyed everything else. There's so much magic you can customize to build whatever you want. There's so many trees that the main hero can do that we haven't even looked at. Like, I didn't even finish the ranged tree, you know? So, like, there's so much potential for replayability there. Siren, the fact that they allow a point in the mid-game with the Vellum Citadel and Lithian's Crossing so that it adds to replayability because they're going to cut you off from one or the other. So, you know, there's a whole new thing awaiting for you in a new playthrough, which is, you know, pretty cool. Just role-playing your character differently. Like, it's just a cool RPG. Obsidian is doing some good work here with these games. And I hope to see many more in the future. And again, thank you for watching. And I will see you in the next series. Have a good day.